Welcome to the tutorial on how to accept a task, add a note to the nurse before you visit a patient, and how you work with the task until it's complete. You are reminded that you can use the play bar at the bottom of the screen to move to the relevant part of the video. As you can see, we are already logged into Patientrack. We're on the ward list for B2. Within this screen you have some options which appear as buttons. We are currently in the defaulted patients list. Notice the button is pressed down. Let's begin by looking at how we accept tasks. Here you can see that the task button has a small red star on it. The star means that you have been allocated a task. We would click the task button. Two tabs, Personal and Team, have become available within the screen. Let's select the Team tab. The Team tab shows all patients with outstanding tasks across all wards. We will select and use the Personal tab. The Personal tab shows patients with outstanding tasks that have been allocated to you. Notice the black doctor image in the green square icon. If the task has been assigned to a doctor, it shows a colored box with a black doctor image. If it has not been assigned to a doctor, there will be a colored icon with no doctor image. Now let's click to select our patient, Emma Dale. You must always check you are working with the correct patient. You are required to check the patient's name and date of birth, which are both visible on the patient's demographics tile. The task status column shows a list of patients assigned to you. Patients with tasks have a priority color of red, amber, or green squares. Each task icon has a time limit assigned to it, in which you have to visit the patient. Red has a 15-minute window in which you need to see the patient. Amber a 1-hour window. And green a 4-hour window. Here, you can see the details of when the task is due, the task priority, the recorded S-bar information, and any additional added notes. Before accepting a task, you can use the Patientrack system to view the latest observation and chart information for the patient. In our scenario, we're going to accept and work with the task. So, we'll click the Accept button. A message box appears, asking you to confirm that you are sure you want to accept the task. Let's click on Yes. The accepted task now changes the doctor image to white. Now that we have looked at accepting tasks, we'll take a look at how we message the nursing team on the ward. If you can't do the task straight away, or maybe you're delayed on another ward, you could send a message note to start treatments, or suggest tests to be ordered before you arrive. However, Patientrack does not alert the nurse that you have sent a note. There is a risk that the nurse will not see the information and the patient will not be treated. For this reason, you are required to call the ward or have a conversation with the nurse looking after the patient. The nurse can also use Patientrack to write a note for the doctor's attention, and the same rule applies. They are required to follow up the note by calling the doctor. Let's click the New Note, Speech Bubble button. Here we can see an example message has been added. When we click the Submit button, it will save the message on Patientrack so that the nurse will be able to see it when you call them and inform them that they need to check your instructions. Now that we have looked at the notes function and we understand the importance of speaking to the nurse looking after the patient, we can move on to what happens when you start the task. You only click on Start when you are ready to begin the patient's review. Clicking on the Start button will add a timestamp to the task indicating that a review was started or the patient visited. When you've finished working with the patient, remember to go back into Patientrack and record the completion. If you fail to do this, it means that no one will know if the patient has received the care they require. Let's take a look at this now. Click the Complete button. Before we continue, let's take a closer look at the completion screen. Recorded shows the date and time the original task was recorded. Recorded by shows the username of the person who created the task. Type shows you which task type was originally assigned to the task. There are 18 predefined task types. Priority includes the original, red, amber or green priority status. And finally, we have due in, which shows the timescale of the task, i.e. when the patient was to be seen by. You can't amend any of these fields as they relate to when the task was originally created. All you need to do is select an outcome from the 4 options. We'll look at some more of these options in the What If video. However, in our scenario, we just want to mark that we have completed the task. The comments box must be completed with information of what was done for the patient. This is mandatory and has to be at least 10 characters long. With the comments added, we just need to click on Submit. The task is removed from your list. We can click on the Views button to see the tasks completed list. Here you can see the patient you have completed. Remember, when you have finished working with Patientrack on a computer, ensure you log out. This prevents your access being mistakenly used by another member of staff. Important, at the end of your shift, you should have no task left in your personal task list. Any outstanding task or incomplete task should be reassigned back to the out-of-hours team and be discussed at handover. So, that's the process for accepting a task, sending notes to the nurses, and starting a task and completing a task. Thanks for watching.